In this DIY, we're going to show you how to make this simple wine caddy. Here's what you need. An offcut piece of timber cut to 200 by 200 mils. I'm using a 19mm thick piece. A jigsaw, 19 and 32mm hole saws, a ruler, a pencil, a sander, a click clamp, wood stain and wood sealer, and a cordless drill. The skill level rating for this DIY is definitely easy. For this DIY, I'm making a 4 glass unit. You can also make a 2 glass unit, you just need to change the dimensions slightly and the layout. When doing a DIY, it's a good idea to try and clear your workplace as much as possible. There's nothing worse than all this clutter when you're trying to work. Easier said than done most of the times. I'm going to clear this table and then we're going to get started. Start by cutting your timber board to 200 by 200. Mark out diagonal lines from corner to corner to find the center point. Then mark 40mm along each line from each corner. Also add in a 5mm offset line on each side of the diagonal lines, as this will form your cutting lines. There's my grid finished. I'm now going to use the hole saws, drill through the center hole at 32mm and 19mm on the 4 corners that I marked out 40mm from the edge. Clamp the board to your bench or worktop with another scrap sacrificial board on the underside. This will prevent any timber breakout as you drill through the timber. Using a 32mm hole saw, drill out the center hole first. Now using the 19mm hole saw, drill through the board at the 4 points you marked earlier, which were 40mm from the corner. I've used a hole saw to cut the inside and outside holes on my board. You can also use spade bits, just select the same sizes. We now need to cut out the channel for the glass to slide through. You will see that the channel is smaller than the 19mm hole. This will help prevent the glass from sliding out of your wine caddy. Clamp the board to the table and cut along the offset lines towards the 19mm hole. Repeat this for all 4 corners. Before adding your artistic flair to your wine caddy, we need to first give it a light sanding to remove any sharp edges, burrs and splinters. This is preparation for painting and staining later on. I'm using an orbital sander with a 120 grit sandpaper. For those tight, intricate bits, you're going to have to sand that by hand, and I'm making use of a 220 grit sandpaper to get into those awkward spots. Once that is complete, you can now personalize the timber look to suit your tastes. I've opted for that aged wood look. Now, how I generated that is I made use of some steel wool and vinegar. Put them into a container and allow it to soak for about 2 to 3 hours. Pop that in there, in goes some vinegar. Let that settle for about 2 to 3 hours, come back, and then you can paint that solution onto your timber surface. Here's a mix I've made up beforehand, and I'm now going to paint it onto the timber. Just soak the timber and allow it to all penetrate into the pine. As it dries, it will go to this grey look. You must be patient. It takes quite a while for it to dry, and once it's completely dry, then you'll see the color change. You won't see a lot initially. If you find that it's still not enough for you, just put it on a 2nd or 3rd coat, but you must be patient and wait for it to dry. It really is up to you what style or type you use. The most important point is that it goes to good use. This is the best part of any DIY, when you get to sit back and relax and enjoy your creation. Cheers. Remember, there are detailed clips of the tools I've used on the product pages of our builder's website. If you enjoyed this clip, we'd love to hear and see your feedback. Like it, share it with your friends and family. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, where there are numerous clips and DIYs to keep you busy and, most importantly, entertained.